Alright guys, I'm working on these tie bars to hold the side frames together on this mortar now. And here's one just to show you. It just has two turn down spots on the ends. I'm going to thread those 1/2-13. And there's easier ways to do this, but I thought, what the heck, this is a gift, so we'll do it old school. So we'll thread these. We'll leave about 1 inch of these straight so that it can locate in the side plates, and then thread the rest of it, which is probably about 7/8 of an inch. So there's 2 on each bar, 2 places to thread on each bar, and I've got one of the bars in the lathe. So I'm watching a YouTube the other day. It happened to be a YouTube by Alan Pierce. That's Pierce Machine Shop. And he was doing some threading, and he was using the reverse thread technique. And I've seen this done before, but it occurred to me I've never actually done it myself. It's really helpful if you are threading up to a shoulder. I'm not in this case. I'm only threading to here. So there's no good reason for me to be doing it this way other than I want to try it because I've never done it. And I thought you might be interested in it. So I will take just a minute here and I'll just show you how I set my lathe up for that. Okay, so first of all, obviously I put the threading insert in upside down in my tool holder and set the height. And I set the height by using the old scale technique. Just lightly come up, pinch the scale between the workpiece and the tool bit, and when this is more or less vertical, you know, it's set on center. I haven't even actually set my stop adjustment here. I just lifted it up by hand, and that's good enough because I won't take this out until I'm done threading. So that's how I set my tool bit for height. Now as far as setting it for squareness, I used a little center gauge. You guys have seen that before. I just set it in there and eyeballed it. Put a light underneath it, and when the light disappeared on both sides, I knew I was good and square to my workpiece. When you do reverse threading, of course, because your tool bit is upside down, you have to run your chuck in reverse, your spindle, and that'll probably be the hardest part of this whole deal, just to remember to run the spindle in reverse. Your whole life you're used to running it conventionally. Now this particular lathe is a Clausing Colchester. It's an 8000 series, 13 by 40. That means it's got a 13-inch swing. That's from the bed up to the center line is 6.5 inches, and it has a bed length of 40 inches long. Now I should add that I'm not going to use my compound to feed, which would be conventional for threading, but I'm just going to feed with my cross slide here. And we'll see how that works out. That's what Alan does. It seems to work for him, and we'll try to do the same thing. And also the other thing is too, is that I'm not going to take a tool bit and machine in relief where I first start here. I'm going to use my threading tool, and I'm going to kind of cut a groove right in there. So you'll see me kind of work my tool bit back and forth until I get down to the depth of the next cut, and I'll just keep doing that until I get down to thread depth. Alright, so now we can get started. So as far as setting up for the 13 threads per inch, if I look at the plaque here, if you can see this, here's 13. It says to use LB7T. So I know this is the gear arrangement right here, and that I know that's what's set up. So that's takes care of my L settings. I've reversed my carriage travel because I'm threading from the headstock towards the tailstock, and down here here's our B, so LB7T, here's T, and there's 7, so we should be all set up to cut 13 threads per inch. So here's my thread dial over here, and because 13 is an uneven number, I know I can engage my half nut on any numbered line. All right, let's go ahead and get started. Alright, so here's what we've done today. We've got these tie bars done, and we've made the 4 washers, and these are just the nuts that I'll put on them. And I've put it off long enough. I need to start working on the actual side plates themselves. So we have to cut that out of this piece of steel. And this is a beautiful piece of steel. And look at this. I don't know if you can see this, how well you can see this, but this is laser cut. Isn't that beautiful? What a beautiful finish on that thing for a rough cut and a rough piece of steel. Alright guys, that'll do it for this one. And stay tuned for part 6, I believe. And this is Mike signing out. So long.